Cedric Rogers is here to tell you about his company, Culture Genesis.
No. I'm Cedric Rogers. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Culture Genesis. We're located in Santa Monica, California, where it's 77 degrees. Our mission for Culture Genesis is to remix what we see in technology, focusing on multicultural audiences. We plan to do that by a simple formula that we have learned, my co-founder and myself, through our time in technology. We want to take inspiration from the things that we see, transform them by bringing in what we know of the culture we're targeting, and more importantly, combine it with celebrity and influencers that we have access to in the city of Los Angeles. Jay-Z most recently was promoting his album, 444, and he said that we are the culture. Nothing moves without us. And what he meant by that is that multicultural audiences are dictating what is culture in America and across the world. And I got a few examples for you, actually 3. The first, music. Hip hop and R&B and rap are now the #1 genre of music in the US and across the world. 2, fashion. Streetwear fashion, sneakers that we've seen in certain apps like GOAT are now the #1 genre of cultural relevance to urban audiences. An example of that also is Virgil Abloh. He went from being a streetwear designer to now the lead for Louis Vuitton. 3, film media. Black Panther, Crazy Rich Asians. These films are blowing out the box office, and there are plenty more behind them. And actually, number 4, gaming. What we've seen from Nielsen reports to us is that the African American community actually 90% have a smartphone in the home, and 73% actually consider themselves as gamers. And the same applies to Latinx, The Latinx community is 99% smartphones in the home. 72% consider themselves as gamers. Smartphones and Fortnite. Audio. Fortnite is realized to be a game that has taken off in America, and the reason why is that they were really smart about integrating in cultural relevance through the songs and the dances that you see. There's thousands or hundreds of them, in this project. And we did the same. We took note of what was happening with gaming and decided to make our first project from Culture Genesis, Trivia Mob. It's a live, dope game show. And what we do with it is that we have 2 hosts. If you don't mind, I'd love to show you a little sizzle.
What's up? Welcome to Trivia Mob. My name is Melvin Gregg, and I'll be your host.
Actually, I'm Britt Lucio, and I'm your host.
Okay, yeah, we get it. Trivia Mob is a live game show where you answer trivia questions, and you get to choose your host.
Virgo! And we won! Hey! About to get that money. Thank you.
All right, so for the next question.
We can still use that knockdown.
You got to pick the next category. That's what happened when we win. Everybody eats on my team, B.
Yeah.
Mob.
Yeah, but I'm pretty here, B. Because I'm the real B.
Pretty here, bro.
Yeah.
So Trivia Mob. We decided to take inspiration from this project from a very cult entertainment show that ran for 14 years on Black Entertainment TV, BET. 106 in Park. This show actually had co-hosts. It focused on entertainment, fashion, and music. And it's a show that really had a really strong current relevance with the urban audience. And we took inspiration from that to bring to you Trivia Mob. With the game that you'll see is that we actually said that we have 2 hosts. We also give the groups 2 opportunities to win. As a user, what you'll experience is a chance to, of course, go through 10 questions and get all 10 correct with 10 seconds for each. Then you can take a share of the cash prize. But also, if you are not able to win, you're still a part of the right mob, we give you mob points. And we plan to use that as an opportunity to give them exclusive prizes, like sneakers from across the street. How do we plan to monetize? This directly from working with movie studios, large brands, as well as record companies. We've already seen a lot of interest to target our audience, but most importantly, we're also seeing a lot of interest from, like I mentioned, a sneaker store across the street, different fashion brands that are focusing on audience, and we want to work with them as well. How we plan to go to market? Very simple. We've already started a lot of public relations. We have our first show actually this Sunday. Welcome you all to join to download our app. Go to the App Store and find it. We've been already highlighted in TechCrunch and many other journalism and publications. User acquisition. We plan to focus on using social media, but not in the way that you may normally see. We're only running a show for every Sunday, so what we're going to do is a run-up to the show. And we're leveraging all the channels that you see below on my slide that are focused on the urban audience. They are actually very excited to work with us, frankly. They want to be able to integrate from our questions and the hosts that we're working with into some of their content as well. And then, of course, the traditional marketing promotions. We already have several brands that we are lined up for this holiday season that we'll love to tell you more about after. But that's kind of the first few ways that we're going to go to market. Our team is very strong. We've actually built 3 individual apps for the entire experience. First is the teleprompter app. We built an application on the iPad that allows us to send the questions to our host and allow them to read them and engage with the audience. 2, the production app. We have a full-time producer who has an iPad app and actually runs the whole show. Everything from the questions to the audience experience things that we do that are a little different from other apps you'll see that pop up on screen. All that takes place from the iPad app. And then, of course, thirdly, the mobile app that you, as the end user, will see and have the gameplay experience. So, to avoid having to figure out a way to do a live demo of a trivia game, we decided we would be better off to give you guys an experience of what it's like to be behind the scenes from when we do our show. We've actually already done 5 betas, so we've taken our time to really test this. And so what I have here is a little sizzle for that to give you experience where you can see, once again, the production app in work, the actual teleprompter app, and of course the gameplay.
Young Money. Ayo, Ferg.
Yeah. Ride with the mob, hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. Ferg is the name. Ben Baller did the chain. Tono for the watch. Prezi plain Jane. Ride with the mob, hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. Ferg is the name. Ben Baller did the chain. Tono for the watch. Prezi plain Jane. Mobbing with my clicker song. Yeah. Mobbing with my clicker song. Hey. Mobbing with my clicker song. Yeah. Mobbing with my clicker song.
So as you see, we have fun every Sunday. We always usually invite people out to have a fun time with us and run through the show. So quickly about our team. I'm Cedric Rogers, as I mentioned before. I'm one of the co-founders and now I'm the CEO. My background is I have a BS in electrical engineering. I've worked at Apple for almost 10 years and I've focused on mobile app development. I also have created a startup previous to YC and it's still in existence and doing quite well. My co-founder, Sean Newsom, he actually is the CTO. He has a BS in software engineering. Spent his career early at MLB Digital, or BAM, we call them. He spent 7 years there, then moved over to Vivo, where he spent several years there actually developing out their platform onto Chromecast. So he's definitely a live streaming expert. So between the two of us, we're very comfortable with what we've built and excited about building new things. And we also have a pretty deep bench behind us in advisors. One that I have here this afternoon or evening, Andrew McCaskill. He actually was a part of my MBA program at Emory University. He is the VP of Multicultural Marketing at Nielsen here in New York. And so all the data that I presented here to you this evening was coming from him and his team. So I want to thank you for your time. I know that we've talked about that we have actually a full product map that we want, a roadmap that we're focusing on. If you would love to hear more about that from us, you can find Sean and myself after this. Thank you.